Okay, so in front of us we have a GTX 1080. This is the Founders Edition PCB. A lot of the reference PCB, I should say. The Founders Edition card, as well as a lot of custom cards, use this exact PCB. You can tell that if you have, let's say, a GTX 1080, you can tell it's this PCB by the cut-off corners. Anyways, if you're wondering why the 8-pin is here, it's because it's been adapted for server use, and normal cards would be too tall. So anyways, like all the broken cards that we get, we want to first do a resistance check across all of our various voltage rails. So first we're going to go into continuity mode, and we're going to check for short on the base voltage rail. So starting at the PCI Express slots. So if you don't know, the first 3 pins are 12 volts. And we're good. And if you start at this notch and you go 4 pins left, you'll find 3.3 volts. And we're good. Okay, so we're not short on the base voltage rails at the PCI Express slots. Next, we want to check the 8 pin. So we can just check this inductor here. Again, we're good. We had that initial beep, but then it kept rising. That's good. That tells us we're not short. Now we want to go to the we want to move over to resistance mode and check the other various voltage rails generated by the card itself. So first, we're going to want to first check 5 volts. So this is the inductor for the 5 volt rail, and we have 9 kilo ohms and rising, so that's a good sign. Then we want to check 1.8 volts. So for 1.8 volts for a GTX 1080, I expect to see about 900 ohms. And we have 876, 877. Again, perfectly fine. A little bit lower than I expected, but still perfectly fine. Now we want to check the PEX rail. The PEX rail, I expect to see, I'm hoping to see 60 plus. And we have 111. That's also very nice. And finally, the memory, again, 60 plus would be nice. 102, 101 ohms. Okay, so we're perfectly good on all the various voltage rails. That tells us we have no shorts, so that tells us that the card is safe to turn on. So let's go ahead and put our multimeter into voltage mode and boot the card. Okay, now that the card is on, let's check for 5 volts. And we're missing 5 volts. So because we don't have 5 volts, we won't have 1.8 volts. And because we don't have 1.8 volts, we won't have the GPU V-core. And because the V-core is missing, the PEX rail will be missing. And also because the V-core is missing, the memory is also missing. Okay, so as you can see, none of our voltage rails turn on. So generally speaking, when you get a card where you're missing multiple voltage rails, the key piece of information that you need in order to make the repair very, very easy is to know the order in which all the power rails turn on. So as I hinted earlier, the first voltage rail that turns on is 5 volts, followed by 1.8 volts. Once 1.8 volts turns on, we have all the voltages required to run both the GPU VRM and the PEX rail. But the GPU VRM, if it doesn't function properly, it'll short the enable signal for the PEX rail, preventing that from turning on. So the next rail, in essence, is the GPU VRM. Once the GPU VRM turns on, it'll no longer short the enable signal for the PEX rail, so the PEX rail will turn on. And again, once the GPU VRM turns on, the memory the memory rail should turn on as well. So, like I hinted earlier, our problem is with the 5 volt rail. We need this voltage rail to turn on in order for the rest of the card to work. So, the buck converter for the 5 volt rail is an MP1475. For an MP1475, there are a couple of pins we want to check to see if we can deduce what exactly is wrong. We want to check voltage in, which will be about 12 volts. We want to check enable, which is 3.3 volts. And we want to check VCC, which is a 5 volt output. If we're missing any of those signals, if we're missing voltage in and enable, we have to trace it. If we're missing VCC, I'm going to assume that the buck converter is dead. Anyways, so if you're wondering, when I check enable, okay, when I check, actually let's go to here. Okay, so when I check, here we go. When I check voltage in, I'm going to be checking this capacitor on this end over here. When I check enable, I will be checking this resistor here on this end right here. And then finally, when I check VCC, it'll be on this capacitor here. I think it's the bottom end, or it could be the top end. I don't remember, but it'll be one of those two ends that's not ground. So let's go ahead and put the card back onto our bench, and let's boot the card and check our inputs and outputs in this case for VCC. So first, let's check voltage in. So we have 12 volts. Okay, that's perfectly good. Let's check enable. 3.3 volts. Finally, let's check VCC. 4.918. Okay. So everything looks good, VCC is good, but unfortunately it doesn't. Okay, so I'm not too sure exactly. So none of the pins give us any indication of what's wrong with the card. So I'm going to go ahead and assume, maybe wrongly, that the problem is the buck converter itself. It's rather common for these buck converters to fail. So I'm going to take it off the board, we're going to replace it, and we're going to see if the card suddenly has 5 volts on the 5 volt rail. Okay, so as you saw, I replaced the 5 volt buck converter. Let's go ahead and boot the card and see if it's any more functional. That's 5 volts, 1.8, GPU V-core, and better yet, we have a BIOS splash screen. Okay, so yes, the card seemingly works. It's at least in a bootable state. So I guess all we have left to do is to put the cooler back on and stress test it. Okay, so as you can see, the card's running game at the moment. It's been running game for about 2 hours, actually almost 2 hours now. So if you go over to GPU-Z, you notice the clock speeds look good, the fan speed and temperature is as expected for a blower cooler, and the power consumption is more or less fine. So anyways, I'm going to say that the card is fixed. Unfortunately, this week's video is very, very simple, and well, this is, I'm actually currently very, very busy, so this week's video will be very simple, as well as next week's video. So for those of you who have been asking about Discord and Patreon, I will of course have a Discord eventually. You know, it's just probably a month away now. But in the meantime, if you actually want, you know, your GPU repair advice or whatever, you can stop by Electronics Repair School's Discord. They have a GPU section. They have, you know, a GPU repair section, and they do have a few knowledgeable individuals who can help, you know, probably answer a few basic questions if you have, let's say, a broken card. But anyways, in either case, I hope you learned something watching this video. I hope it wasn't too boring or too simple for you. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.